Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Kaspars. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Great. So I'm very happy to have a time with you to have a little discussion uh, for the listeners, let's say, who's following us. And I think I would like to go a little bit on the topics of the starting of the development. When the organizations such as related to the fighting or crisis management, when they are considering the XR solutions or immersive technology solutions. So let's have a discussion on that topic. And maybe going on to the some from different angles. So first of all, maybe you can just briefly introduce like the what the organizations that you are involved in are doing in related to the XR.
What they are doing? Heh. I don't know where to start. Let me start with the beginning of myself. I'm former firefighter, crisis manager, training manager, training specialist for various fields of emergency services. So that's kind of been my life for last, oh my God, 20 years already. And then I believe I understand both sides of the thing. And then the main things that fire services or emergency services, I'm closer to fire services, but in general emergency services, is that so in the beginning the main issue at this point regarding XR, MR, or VR technologies is that people don't really understand them yet, fully understand them yet. There is a misconception that it's still a game. Uh, that there is a reason for that, and the industry is called serious gaming. But it's been a long time since it's not a game and it's not for pleasure and for enjoyment. So it gives real life additional value to the training and for the services in general. It's so the main thing that services, any services who are planning to implement any type of these technologies is to keep open mind. Keep your mind open because there will be multiple things that you won't understand. There will be hundreds and hundreds of questions, but with time, all those questions will be answered. All the concerns will be taken away. I wouldn't put all, but most of the concerns will be taken away, and it's a long process. But yeah, the main thing is keep your mind open. It's a challenging process. It's a new process. If we talk European countries, for most countries, it's absolutely new. There are only, I would say, couple countries that are very advanced in these processes. But again, keep your mind open. It's not gonna be easy, but it's definitely worth it.
And may I ask if it's possible that you maybe share some of the, let's say, storyline of how the some institutions they have started, what how they approach the understanding or learning about it, and what kind of solutions they can actually really implement it.
Yeah, sure. So the main reason why services, companies, or any other institutions are looking into these technologies are there are multiple reasons. One of the main ones is, of course, finances. So everybody is looking for cheaper solutions for the processes that they are regulated to do. And then XR technologies provide multiple solutions that can be much, let's say, less expensive in a long term. And the key thing here is to understand the long term because to buy these technologies, they are not cheap in any way, shape, or form. They're not cheap. And then we are talking tens of thousands of euros starting at. And so that's the main challenge that services are trying to fight. The next one is, of course, the time. If these solutions can somehow save time on training, give it more, let's say, value for the time spent, and then now very I hate the word trendy, but still is the green course all around the Europe. So we want to exclude, let's say, for fire services, burning some things. There are, of course, healthy solutions, but still, we are burning things and to do the training. And these technologies, I'm not saying will replace at any time the burning, but it can significantly reduce the time that you are spending on burning things and in that way harming environment, health, and other things.
Right. So you kind of touched the kind of the maybe the reasoning or the focus from the decision makers, like the from the organizations why they would choose, let's say, these solutions. Of course, it also comes from the trainers itself that they have this kind of elements that they can focus on as like on bringing these benefits that the immersive technologies they're providing. Maybe we can dive into a bit more like practical point, like of let's say I don't want to speak. Oh, how to maybe like the from the trainer's perspective, how to maybe change the mind or like the where the trainer what he or she should do in order to start learning or start implementing the technologies.
So there are different courses, like different routes for this. So one is, of course, exhibitions. There are multiple exhibitions every month all around Europe. Let me focus on Europe. So multiple these exhibitions all around Europe where you can see already made finished products, as I call them, and then that's one route to actually go check them out, try them out, get some practice time on them because companies are very friendly to give systems for the research and then other things. That's one route. The other route is, of course, develop these things for themselves, highly customized, localized for different procedures and different locations. So those are two main routes. Uh, the difference is that turnkey solutions, already made products, will take much less time to implement because they are already made for the most clients' needs. And they come cheaper. Normally, there can be exceptions for that, but normally they are cheaper. If you are looking into developing your own thing, it's gonna take a lot of time. It requires a lot of pre-knowledge, how to, what to, because the planning process is very difficult for these things. What exactly you want to achieve, what exactly it should look like, sound like, feel like. So because as we know, we can cover most of the senses that we have with XR technologies, and so that there are multiple ways to do that. Uh, so for developing themselves, yeah, it's gonna be most of the times much more expensive. It's gonna take much more time, and the success rate from my experience is actually, I would say, 50-50. That there is high probability of project to fail because of many reasons. The lack of financing, just the lack of personnel who's willing to develop things, change of personnel, change of ideas, and then it grows financially, like skyrocketing the prices. So if you ask me personally, I would choose turnkey solution with some minor customization. That would be the let's say most reasonable way from multiple aspects to look into.
Right. Also, that maybe you can share. You mentioned like some conferences or some events where the people can look into some of those solutions that are targeting for firefighters or crisis managers. Maybe you can share that they're happening like maybe annual events. That this is like your the biggest pickup, like, or the most that you are looking forward, that the trainers can actually choose out of, many?
Yeah, so there are multiple events to visit. So you can always check the local ones. There are, I'd say, in every country now, at least once a year, fire or safety exhibition, where the companies that are providing these technologies are planning to get, or willing to be there. That's one thing. The biggest ones, where you can actually see all the technologies in one place, I would say, is iTech, which is annual, and then on below. And of course, what's considered Olympic Games of firefighting exhibitions is Interschutz, once every 4 years, organized in Germany. I never remember the city's name, but that's a 1 week, very intensive, with companies from all around the world, starting from the earliest developments of fire technologies like hoses and pumps, till the newest, never seen before technologies. You can actually see that. But let's say for intershoots, you need to plan a whole week to see everything, because it is a big event. It takes time. Just walking around takes time. It's a huge event. But yeah, those, let's say, from to see what's new, have great conversations, your questions answered. Yeah, those are two main things that I would recommend. And local ones always are good, because the company is already there. You can always ask them to come to your fire station, or other places, to have longer conversations, your questions answered, and stuff like that.
Super, super great. Thank you. And previously, you were mentioning to me about the maybe some support that is coming in regarding to the getting the immersive technology solutions that are subscription based. Uh, can you share briefly what you were mentioning before? Me?
So sorry, based on what?
Subscription based. You know the
Subscription based. Oh yeah. So subscription based technologies, uh, they are, let's say that there are two sides, good and bad. I wouldn't say bad, but good and less good. So with subscriptions, the main issue, let's start from here, is that, as I mentioned before, these technologies aren't cheap. So services organizations are looking for outside funding for them. In our case, most of the time it's going to be European funding, any type of European fund. And it's very good to get expensive things as a one-time payment. Great. But if you're looking at subscription, these funds normally doesn't support monthly or annual payments. And that means that you can invest this first chunk of money from these funds, but after month, a year, or whatever the subscription model is, you will need to find the finances in your own pockets, in your own budget, and that's not always successful. And that's why, let's say, for these big, hugely expensive projects, the subscription model is not very friendly for end user if you don't finance it from your own budget. If you're financing from your own budget, subscription is very, let's say, approachable, very easy to get. And what it gives you is regular updates, regular service from technology provider, and then things that come with that.
And you shared with me one little insight in regarding to the future of the funding program that Europe is planning, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there are, let's say, whispers in the wind that Europe is considering to open funds for these subscription models. And then but still, it's an early conversation. It could be that it arrives in next planning period, which starts at 2027, I believe. And then so there are such conversations around. But will it be successful? I hope so, yes, because that would open a lot of opportunities for mostly educational organizations such as schools, colleges, universities, because their approach is, let's say, their workflow is much more suitable for these subscription paid models. But for others, it doesn't matter that much. But still, it would be very valuable tool if European Union decides to go that route as well.
Mm-hmm. Super great. Thank you for the insight. And as we're talking about this stage of the development, let's say, maybe you can share maybe some insights, uh, whether some of the technologies are a bit more easier approachable or easier solution to start with.
It,
Um,
it actually so I wouldn't say that some technologies are easier to approach or to start with. It depends very much on your needs, what you're willing to achieve. So if that's like as an example, if you want to learn a procedural thing, that is from development point. It's very simple to do. There are multiple technologies available. My favorite is 360 videos. That that's now since actually we started support project. This is my favorite go-to thing because it allows for low budget to achieve really high quality educational product. If you're looking into training not only the knowledge but also the senses and other things, then it's again another technologies, VR, XR. Those are more expensive. They will take more time to develop or more expensive to buy a turnkey solution. But yeah, it depends on what you're willing to achieve. There are as I normally say, what works for everything works for nothing. You won't be able to cover everything in one product. That there is such there is no such thing at this moment. There are highly advanced products available in the market, but they are not covering everything that you will need. And then because let's say firefighters is are very complex profession. I would say one of the most complex you will see ever, because you need to know starting from, let's say, how to operate the fire nozzle up to chainsaw, boat, drive a truck, operate these high extension ladder, and then and so many other stuff. So to cover all that, you will need multiple solutions. And then but the question remains, do you actually need to cover all? Because there are still things that you need to do in what we call real life, such as live fire, live ladder, because you can always learn how to, let's say, as example, how to operate a boat on the pond or on the lake, but it won't feel the same with technologies if there is someone not sitting in front of you spraying water in your face and things like that. So it depends on needs. It depends on your budget, of course. Time, how much time you have to achieve these things. So look into multiple things to cover. If you're willing to, let's say, build a full technologies based thing around your training or procedure or anything, it's not gonna be one technology to cover all. There is, I would say, yeah, based on my experience, there is no way you can do that with one thing and one thing only.
Hmm. And may I ask you just also, from your opinion, where would you start yourself if you're like coming back to the times that you were a firefighter, and especially when you were a trainer, knowing all these things right now, what
Yeah.
would you choose or start with?
So my start with these technologies was actually very interesting, but that's a long story. So, but what I would do, I would actually start as I started, to reach out to companies that are willing to discuss these solutions. Ask them if you can borrow any of these technologies, because let's say if you don't know what you need or what you want to invest significant amount of money into buying for testing, that's not very reasonable. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's not very reasonable. So there is always a chance to approach company who has a product, ask them for a demo, ask them to come to your site, which would be the friendliest way, because then you can give opportunity to try out technologies for wider range of your personnel. Ask them to for these types of deals, because looking into my side of which are sellers and then provider technology providers, most of the times we are very friendly. We like to educate people about the technology, about the available products, about how to implement them and stuff like that. So my first step would be reach out, ask them, hey, could you come show us what you have? And then again, there are two ways to do that. One is again exhibitions. Second one is approach directly. Just send me an email. But there is, let's say, for me personally, there is high probability we will agree for some demo session. And I consider myself still an educator. So I am always open to spend some time on telling you how to, what not to, because that sometimes is very important because people get all excited. Oh, this is so interesting. This is so nice. But not always the implementation process is successful. So that again is something to put into consideration. But yeah, reach out, talk. So as I always say, ask. It's a very simple thing to do. Just ask. If they say no, it doesn't hurt you. If they say yes, that's a huge achievement, huge step forward in that.
Yeah. And in that case, you can actually definitely from the experts to learn about technology and capabilities and how to actually implement it into training, how to enrich the training.
And that opens also a network of let's say what the experts already have. So if there is, as example, school looking for a solution, there are other schools that already went that route. Not everybody knows everybody, especially huge area like Europe. Different languages, different cultures, different mindsets. But we are the ones who can actually connect you with others that already went that route, or who are willing to add themselves to the projects that could be at some point implemented. So you're not alone out there. You're not alone, and there are organizations that help with the networking as well. And other projects, let's say ours now very successfully moving forward so far, is again, I'd say if you reach out to me and ask, may I join just to see what you're doing? Feel free, come. We'll show you, we'll answer your question. We're happy to do that.
Superb. That is true. That is also I suppose the community even in Europe is growing, and step by step, there are the organizations who are related to the firefighters or crisis managers who are um, hearing something, and then they come and join the community. And it's really great to hear that, this openness from the edtech solution providers. At the same time, you are the persons who know, who already started, already progressed in some level, and can or have ready to exactly what success
And
examples.
because let's say for firefighters, there are very quiet users around Europe who are not sharing because they think that, oh, this is ours, we have this advantage. But again, we can't put you in the same room to have conversations as well.
Yeah, super great. So, thank you, Kaspars. I think I would like to finish on this note. Definitely, the message is that uh, you know, making even the small steps. This is a really good thing, and as you mentioned, be open, and also at the same time, reach
Don't,
out.
don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid because it is still a new thing. It is, and it's gonna be new for a while. It's been around for years already, but for most users, it's still a new thing. And then don't be afraid to ask. Just ask, and that's half of victory already.
Super great. Thank you, Kaspars.
You're welcome.